Former President Trump suggested on Saturday that he would fight like hell for Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia, if she were to run for Senate. Would you like to run for the Senate? Trump said at his first campaign rally of the 2024 cycle in Waco, Texas. I would fight like hell for you. If Greene were to run for Senate, she would likely face off against Senator Jon Ossoff in 2026. During his speech on Saturday, Trump touted Greene as a bad expletive. People do not realize how brilliant she is, the former president said. She is just a bad expletive. The Georgia congresswoman, who is considered one of Trump's most loyal allies, has previously been seen as positioning herself as a potential 2024 running mate for the former president. She sees herself on the short list for Trump's VP. Trump's former chief strategist Steve Bannon said in January, adding, when MTG looks in the mirror, she sees a potential president smiling back. So I try to be fair, and I have my own biases, obviously, as a commentator on this stuff. But one of the things that I remember people praising Trump for in 2015 and in the years arguably after that as well was bringing attention to illegal immigration. And, even if you didn't agree with his stance, you could say this is an issue that he's heavily associated with. Why is it that when he praises Greene, he doesn't cite anything she's led on? She's a bad expletive. And expletive is a swear word I'm not going to bother saying because YouTube will monetize me. But isn't it sad that we're talking about a two-term congresswoman and he's trying to praise her, but he can't name a single position of hers that would supposedly make her so impressive and, to qualify her to where a former U.S. president would fight like hell to get her in the Senate. And on the subject of her being in the Senate, I have no doubt in my mind that her and Bobart are both ambitious. Although I think in both of their cases, they're probably just biding their time to try and get in. They're kind of like the reverse version of the squad in the sense that I feel like they're caught between a rock and a hard place as far as they probably want to, as quickly as possible, become senators, governors, whatever, but they're constantly trying to figure out, am I very certain I'm going to win this race? Because if I don't, then I don't have my House seat. Because one of the things I noticed is running for any position as an incumbent member of the House is pretty irritating, simply because you don't have an off year. Like if you're a senator and you run for president or governor, some other position, usually a lot of, in those 6-year terms, people will run during a year that doesn't correlate with the year in which they have to run for re-election for their current seat if they were to still remain there. Now, do I think Greene could beat Ossoff? Yes. And the reason I say that is twofold. One, Georgia is a red state that sometimes seems purple. I know Biden won it. I know Democrats are feeling really happy about having 2 senators from there. But make no mistake about it, that state could easily flip back to being red in a heartbeat. And Ossoff is a guy that is as run-of-the-mill as you can get. He's anti-single payer. He's for a $15 minimum wage. Just another generic Democrat. He doesn't really have anything going for him other than, oh, he's the first millennial senator. So I could totally see her running some campaign where she says he's out of touch, mentions that his House race was the most expensive in U.S. history. And I think with enough trickery, right, because she's going to pretend like she's this hero for the working class, I think she could beat him. I think a combination of trickery, the fact that that state, in statewide elections leans towards Republicans, gives her a very big advantage over Ossoff. That is to say, assuming she's not Trump's running mate. And I have no doubt that she's trying to jockey for that job too, because what do we know about the current Republican Party? It's a cult. Anytime someone runs, as long as they're loyal to Trump, they have a good chance of either advancing their career or staying in the same position to whatever point that they would like. You look at what happened with Liz Cheney. It's someone who voted with Trump over 90% of the time. And after condemning him for his role in an insurrection, she loses her seat by a whopping margin in the primary. So, I have no doubt Greene is probably trying to get that position, but I still don't think Trump is going to pick her. I feel like him praising her this much, even if it is generic, and he's not really telling you what about her is so appealing, is him kind of signaling to her, hey, I don't think I'll pick you for VP, but here's this other position you could get. And I think if she's smart, because the chances of a vice president becoming president, unless something happens to the incumbent president, are pretty low. Um, if she's smart, I think she should just wait until 2026 and challenge Ossoff instead of trying to be Trump's running mate. If she wants, oh God, President Greene. If she wants a serious chance at the White House, I think she'd be better off getting a Senate seat after like 4 or 5 House terms than uh, trying to jump into the position of being Trump's running mate. Because, like I said, I think if he wins the nomination, there's going to be a lot of independent voters who are turned off by the insurrection, and I don't think it would make any sense for Greene to want to go down with a presidential ticket that she makes even more extreme by being on it, first of all. But secondly, if it loses, not only is she not the vice president, but she also doesn't have a job anymore. Uh, because every 2 years you have to run for your House seat again, every even numbered year. So she's probably going to have a better chance running for senator. And like I said, I'm no fan of hers, but I'd say she'd probably be the odds-on favorite if she has Trump's endorsement and she's running against Ossoff, who's continuously disenfranchising voters with his lack of willingness to do anything whatsoever. I really wouldn't be surprised if she beats him. And, hey, I'm not going to feel too bad because, like I said, the Democrats as a party need to be able to win and have seats in states like Florida and other places to where this wouldn't even be like the end of the world if they don't have both seats from a red state that on the 2020 occasion happened to go Democratic.